Hi, everyone. Uh, we're here with our quarterly update. This is our second update, so we're still figuring out format. Um, Not 100% sure, but we are going to take questions and answers at the end of some information here. I've got myself, Greg McCarvell, and Ricardo Mello going to be participating today.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome, Ricardo. Ricardo's in
Thank you,
Paris,
Greg.
uh, enjoying the time there. So basically, I'm going to talk first, Ricardo. I'll go for just a few minutes, but I know most people are going to be interested in what you have to present. Ricardo's got an initial roadmap, and that's been a thing that a lot of people have been asking about, pretty excited about. So I'm not going to take a lot of time with my stuff, and we can get right to it. But I just wanted to. This is the first quarterly update where I've been officially part of the Wakanda team, and I just want to explain basically what my role is all about is, in a nutshell, my goal is to get people up and productive with Wakanda, really drive user adoption, and make it so that people are becoming successful with our platform. That's really our focus. Is on the product side. We're all about data. We want you to manage your data totally effectively, with the most efficiency possible. And on the business side, we're all about making our developers successful. There's nothing we want to see more than Wakanda developers earning a great living, developing with our products, making successful businesses, and really experiencing success in all aspects. So that's the crux of my role. And sometimes that will be uh, helping people get up and running with issues or problems. Sometimes we'll be introducing them to resources or other developers in our community. In a startup mode, we're trying to stay as agile as possible and make it so that we can react quickly. Right now, we have a ton of momentum behind the scenes. I've been in contact with many people who are making great efforts at bringing applications to market, and it's really positive to see, and I'm happy to see that going. On the business side, we're also working on. I don't have a lot of specifics today, but I would imagine for the next quarterly update, I'll have some additional information on um, additional offers, such as likely things we've talked about already. Better support, better communication, better training. These are all areas that we're really making a lot of progress behind the scenes. It doesn't become evident up front immediately, but you'll be seeing that coming. So I'm really excited about that. And I just wanted to remind you, I'm monitoring questions while Ricardo's going to be talking, and we'll be addressing those as best we can. We really want to make this an interactive session. So with that, Ricardo, do you want us to share your screen, or what works for you?
Yes, why not? Let's,
Okay.
if you can, do this. First, I want to publicly welcome Greg to the company. If you have been with Wakanda for probably more time than me right now, but if you have some history with us, you know that Greg started as a member of the community and made so many adjustments and made us to work better that we finally, in a very good move, we decided to make him part of our team, and I could not be more happy than that. And so publicly, thank you for coming, thank you for being in the team, and I look forward to see you helping us even more.
I appreciate that, Ricardo. It's been great working together.
All right, so how do I know? Okay, so I have my confirmation here. I'll check it out if everybody can see my screen.
Yep, we can see you.
Perfect. So how that, just to make sure that we're going to talk, do you guys see also my webinar panel? Is that too much or should I?
No, the webinar panel is not visible, so you're good right there.
Perfect. All right. Okay, so I want to start with a little presentation, very quick, about the Wakanda and what I'm going to be talking today. And then we're going to be back and forth and to the website and to some examples and to make it a little bit more entertaining. So as you guys know, and we have talked that before, at Wakanda, from our founder, we love data. Data is our sweet loving pea, and when you're trying to make the product even more friendly and even more interesting to manipulate a lot of data and make your application run faster, better, and very connected with all what we have right now in terms of movements in the web or for the future. So the point of this presentation is to give you an update of what we're doing right now and to show one of the current development that we have been putting our effort on it. Talk about the philosophy behind that, and also to touch a little bit one of the features that we don't talk much about it, but I think is quite nice. It makes you, it's going to give even more understanding of our new philosophy, which is also to show our beautiful server and our nice studio, and not just with one product, but also the possibility of having more than one alternative. So basically, we're going to talk about the roadmap. And in the roadmap, as if you have been following the forum, I did a personal commit to completely revamp the widget structure and architecture and pretty much everything as around widgets. We, at Wakanda, we believe that widgets are the key elements that makes you understand the power of Wakanda, what the power behind Wakanda. It gives you the possibility to do a lot of things really quick. So in our roadmap, we are kind of trying to make the most out of the roadmap based on widgets. We're going to also talk about themes, because themes are something that the community asks us to get better. And we're starting with a first improvement that is quite nice, I believe, and you guys are going to evaluate as we go. And we're going to talk about other things that we plan to do on themes as well. And then there is this what we call no WAF, which is this capability that I mentioned that allow you to deal with external libraries and create some applications in a very different way. So about the roadmap. Before we go to the roadmap and start to go a little bit into the details, every single issue in the roadmap, we're trying to make sure that we impact collaboration. We see the web as a collaborative thing, and it's very clear for everybody at this moment that the web is a collaborative environment. And for us, we think that our way of dealing with widgets, with themes, with custom widgets, the widgets that you may create, extensions, web components, all that needs to be in a collaborative way. So we need to create the infrastructure for you to quickly create them and also share them with the community. That's becoming a major issue since my arrival. I think that's a very good way for the future. And we are trying right now, for example, to revamp the widgets to make them easy to create, easy to share, and we think that that's going to be an explosion, or we hope it's going to be an explosion in terms of what Wakanda can do in the future based on that. Just we have to harness the power of the web and the community that starts to gather around us. So the roadmap as well, it's going to make sure that we are prioritize our internal, all the actions that we're doing at an internal level. That's important. That's always nice to have a public face that we have to create the impression that we are very truthful to what we say. So we are trying to do what we say. In my view, the roadmap needs to be, needs to have a touch of aliveness. So, you know, it needs to be like something that you go there and you see a new feature being added. You see as well that it can happen sometimes that a feature would be deleted, and we will try the best of our capabilities to show that why we took out the feature, or maybe why we postpone it. And so everything around the roadmap is about creating clarity. Okay, so then I would invite you to go, because we already delivered that in the website, to the roadmap. So the address is wakanda.org/roadmap. Okay, I have maybe a little different version of you guys, and I hope we're all seeing the same page. Greg, can you confirm that you're seeing well the roadmap page?
I'm just loading it up right now. I'll tell you in a second.
Hello? All right, because then I can confirm and then we can go further.
Yeah, well, we can see your screen, so you can continue. But
all right, I can keep pushing. Okay, perfect. So we have a little.
I'm seeing the same thing, Ricardo. So you're good.
All right, perfect. So the way that I think that we should communicate is to give you a sense of progress, that what we're doing, and the best explanation as possible as we can do. I will try during the coming months start to create some blogs entries and some forum entries around some of those features. So then I can have a discussion also and harness as well the voice of the community, but is not here in this place. This place is going to be just a public place that we show what we're doing. We are working, and Greg is active on that as well, to create other mechanisms for the community also to impact in a better way our roadmap. That's for the future. So basically, this is a responsibility of the development team. So it's my direct responsibility to create and to maintain this roadmap. And your left side, you're going to see progress, which, since we we are implementing here in an agile type of environment, that the progress bar is not really correct, but it will give you a notion of, through the iterations, where we are. So we didn't find a better way at this moment. We may change in the future, but at this moment, think that is a progress that's going to show you around where we are. And I hope you're going to see that update every week on what we are doing. So then you have the description of the future and the target. The target is really important for people to understand that sometimes we're developing a future. I'm going to go scroll down. But it's not defined yet in which Wakanda is going to be. Okay, it's a decision, it's an internal decision. So we may still be thinking about the future, how we're going to implement, if it's going to be for this one, if it's going to be for the other one. So expect a lot of movements in terms of targets, because as soon as we start a feature, or maybe sometimes a feature goes to a point that we can finally decide, oh, this can go to Wakanda 5. Okay? All right. Enough about the structure. Let's talk about a little bit about the content. Okay? As you see, just one last thing. As you can see here, you have the last update, which was yesterday, and the next update is going to be pretty much every Monday. I'll try to make every Monday, but about between 7 and 10 days, because sometimes it goes to do some weekends and holidays. So we're going to try to preview what's going to be the next, so you can come and check it out. So, content. As you see, the first two are already very evident. We are giving a lot of attention to widgets. And the way that we are thinking, as mentioned before, the collaborative way, is we think that we need to create a way for you guys to create widgets really easy. That the widgets and the custom widget created by the community needs to be a cross solution. So you create one custom widget, it's going to be accessible through all your solutions. That's the first point. The second point is you have a mechanism to create a blank widget, a starting point. So you're going to have a place in our studio that you click, and you're going to say, click my widget, here's my name, and a widget, a blank widget, is going to be created for you, and directly available in the studio. Okay, so you can go to a solution or to a project, see your widgets on the left side of our GUI, and drag the widget in your page. It's going to be just a blank widget with a few properties that we're going to suggest for you. After that, we're going to create a number of APIs to easing your walk-through complexity. Okay, so our plan is to give you easy access to methods and functions and the data source in a way that is going to be fairly easier than what we have right now to create complexity and create a great widget. We believe that that's the way to go. That if the community is able to create widgets, we can explode that, because then we can just give you the possibility of share that on GitHub, for example, and that would be a great thing for the whole community. We are in a stage that we need the community to harness what they are creating, because they are. We see it every day, and then we are not at this point harnessing. We may be getting some. You can share the whole application, but we are talking about elements. We are talking about someone created a cool theme, and he's going to be able to share that theme with everybody else. That's, I think, is the way to go. So the two first tasks is basically what you guys, what I have been talking right now. So the CSS is the second theme. We're going to go in details on that one, so I will leave that for the examples, and then we can discuss a little bit how we are dealing with that. But it's in the same concept. You are going to have some predefined themes for you, and you're going to be able to create themes in a very easy way with one click. It's the same one-click style of creation. Then you have some widgets that we plan to rewrite, because since we are creating a new way of doing widgets with a new architecture, we want our widgets to be exactly the same way. So for the future, we may even give you our widgets so you can improve our widgets, because they're going to be written the same way that you would write any widget. So that's why those three guys in the list, combo box, matrix, and grid, they're at 0 right now, because we haven't finished yet the first part. So we are still in progress. But as soon as we have the minimum base for that, we're going to start the combo. The combo is going to be our first guy. So also, we are planning a new build system with a packaging control, which is a suggestion from our forum as well. So we're going to try to reduce the size of the WAF and make it faster, and especially for mobile. And we're doing a lot of things in terms of server. I don't want to go in detail, every single detail. I welcome you guys to read, and don't hesitate and put on the forum what you think about it, about the new roadmap, and we can start a thread, and we can see how it goes. At this moment, we have about 30 or 20 something big features. Expect to see this number grow and along the way, and pretty much that's what I have. Do you have any questions for me regarding that, Greg?
Yeah, we've got some questions coming in.
All right.
Did you have more that you were going to present? Because we can do questions at the end.
Oh yeah. We're gonna go to themes right now.
Okay, let's do that first. And anyone who's got questions, keep them coming in. I see them all.
Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna switch my computer here. Let me start on Wakanda Studio here. I'm gonna start Wakanda. Okay, start. And I'm gonna ask you again. Do you see my screen? Do you see perfectly? You don't see the?
Yep, it's all good.
We're good to go. Okay, I just need to resize some things here just to make sure that I have a proper vision of my screen. Give me just a second. All right. Okay, I'm gonna open a solution here. It's just a blank solution, not really blank, but we're gonna see. Yes, we can start the server. Okay, I'm gonna actually delete everything that is here. Let's start from scratch. Let's create actually New project. Let's go demo CSS. All right, just to make sure, what I'm going to show you guys right now is something that's in development. So it's not something done. It's just the progression of what we are thinking about the CSS. Okay. Basically, let's go to a page. Start a page, and I'm going to drag a button. I'm going to drag, let's say, grid. Okay, that'll be enough, just to show the concept. The thing is, we want to be as simple, and I could explain to you in like 1 minute. That's what I'm going to try to do. And your properties on the right, you're going to have skins now. We're still, just again to make sure, that all the names that you're seeing right now and the ergonomics are still being validated. So you may see some change for the future, but get the concept. So the concept behind is the most important right now. So what we want is that you click on skins and you have a theme library for you right on your fingers. If you can notice well, we are applying the CSS of the theme already in the library. So if you can see here, you see that this one has corner shape and a little bit of degradé. This one has a square. It's more square, but has a little shadow behind. This one is colorful. This one is what we call soft gray. There we go. This one is very rounded. And the principle is I click and my page changes. I click and my page changes. Very simple, very easy. How we're doing that in the behind scenes is one of the most important things. First, now, a page can be associated with a theme. And of course, you will be able to say, my project, my whole project is this theme, apply that for all my pages, okay? But you can also customize every single page. Right? So, one page, one theme. Another good concept that's coming is like, the theme is one CSS file, just one. So you have everything from your theme inside the CSS file. That was an old complaint from our from the release that we have, because we had many CSS spread everywhere, and we are trying to simplify that at maximum for you. Okay, so basically that's how it works. I have another button. I drag my button here. But let's say, oh, I forgot that well, that's my 1 minute explanation. That's how it should work. Now we have a little thing that we are creating to give you a little bit more of customization. Is the concept of row. The concept of row is the following. Maybe you have a button, okay? That is a different type of button. It's like a red button that you like to do alerts, or is a green button that you have to go, or is like a fancy button that you want to put somewhere. So you can now, you'll be able to, and right now as we already developed this capability, to go and style your button as you wish. So let's change something on the button. So my button is like that, and I'm gonna put maybe a border. I'm gonna make this for 3.
Hey, Ricardo, don't take up a second job as a designer. Do you hear me?
Sorry, what?
Don't take up a second job as a designer, please.
No, yes, I agree totally with you. So it's just to show. Okay, so I have my button. It's a very fancy button, let's say. No, not really, but let's call, there's my button here. What I can do is to click on the right. As I want to repeat, it may not be exactly here. We're just doing that as a development phase. But I'm going to save this as a row. And I'm going to say that that's my fancy button. Okay? So from now on, as you see, you can have some messages coming that we're still in development, but it's in theory set to be my role. If I bring another button, I can just click on the button, and in the same panel, I can just apply my fancy role. You see here on the role, if I click outside and the whole screen, I get all my themes from that page. If I click in the element, I'll get the roles associated to that element. And I can create and use that everywhere. So I can just click on this one, and I work already a lot. I say it's fancy, and my button is fancy. So that is the type of capability that we're trying to bring with themes. Huge simplification of the way to deal with them in one file. The concept of one theme straight directly there. The concept of I can click on the right here is not, this capability is not developed yet, but you're going to be able to click on the right, or there's going to be an ergonomic difference, but it's going to be the same function idea. I'm going to create and say export. And I will export this default or my metal or my light or my soft gray to another customized theme. I'm going to make some changes, and that's going to be available. And that's going to be available across solutions. I open another solution, that theme is still available. That's going to be in a special folder that you can just plug in GitHub. Okay. Did I miss something in terms of themes? I don't think so. Basically, that's what I have to show. But that's you know, we can go after in questions about the nitty-gritty details of implementations and doubts that I believe that you guys are going to have. But the concepts behind it it's what I have been talking: being simple, being direct, trying to be one file. Okay, Greg. At this point, I can go to the next one, which is a more technical type of presentation feature.
Yep.
Or we can have some questions.
I'll tell you, I've had a few comments about what you just showed on CSS, and people are pretty excited about it. So excellent job.
That's nice. Yes, we are too. I have actually here with me both the developers that are doing this is Christophe and Olivier.
Yeah.
They are very excited as well. They're working hard for creating the whole system behind the structure.
Well, this is the first I've seen of it, and it looks really good. So congratulations, guys.
Cool. Okay, so what do you suggest? We go to the next one, or?
Yeah, we'll keep going. I've got a number of questions, so but we'll just do all the questions at the end. So you keep going through whatever you've got prepared, and we'll take questions as long as people are interested.
All right. So I'm gonna just leave the studio, because at this moment I need to bring, because the functionality that I'm going to show now is something available in Wakanda 4 already in the site available, and our development version, we may have some issues about it, so because we're still developing, and so I prefer to go with what you have right now into Wakanda 4. So let me just make sure that I have no instances of anything running at this moment, because I have a bunch of things. Sorry. Okay. Make absolutely sure that my Wakanda 4 is not going to mess my Wakanda. Oh, my Wakanda 5 is going to mess my Wakanda 4. Okay, let's go. So this concept is I love this idea, and I wish the community would explore a little bit more. We did I think I'm going to do a blog post. Actually, Greg and I were talking about that, and Greg had a great idea of doing a blog post, and I think I'm going to just join the team, do another one about another subject around this too, because it's quite interesting. But I want to start that about a concept. Okay, so I'm going to try to explain abstractly how I feel about this feature. I hope you guys. Let me see if your imagination can go with what of my poor English. So in the 70s, I know the relationship between servers and clients, we well know that was, you had a big mainframe and a client that was, let's say that was this little small client. He didn't do much, right? Slowly, progressively, we created more intelligence in the client to a point that we arrive in the early 90s with a client-server structure that was quite interesting. Your client was a PC, fully charged, and basically the server became a database server, right? So you had your executable in your PC, which was pretty incredible. And the only thing that you need really was data, which you would access through your network, to your company network, or to your home network. Usually company network at that time. All right, so then we have the big strike. The internet came along. And paradoxically, and very interestingly, the internet had the same type of principle. We had like a big server, which was the internet. And our client, although it was a PC, but it was a very dumb client. It was basically sending and receiving little pages, right? That's what we have been trying to create this link that will give us, again, the power in the client side to make those things a little bit more balanced. And a lot of what you see in the internet, still you have a lot of Web 1.0. Some pages that are just there that you are dependable completely about your server. And you ask something, you receive something, and the client doesn't really do much. Then comes JavaScript. And a way that starts to change that to reality. Well, JavaScript was since the beginning, but it was not really taken seriously until pretty much Chrome or Google started to really push that line to the limit. And was not just like a little language, but was something incredibly powerful. And start to allow us to do things that are pretty incredible, start to be very interesting. And the page became something, your browser became something that is quite complex now. It's the same type of cycle repeating itself. Okay, said that, and I hope you guys follow me on that. And Wakanda, as you know, oh, before I say that, so in the web environment right now, we have the client, you have a web server, and you have the database, all right? As for, in the past, the comparison that I was doing, you have pretty much your client in the database and the network, but you attack directly the database server. Poof. That was pretty cool. It's pretty fast. Okay, on the web, you are always passing through the HTTP server, which is fine. We need that, right? But imagine that your HTTP server is there basically to serve you data. Wouldn't that be a big revolution? That'd be a nice thing, because they're just serving you data. It's not rendering anymore anything, or they're creating what is the trend right now, which is the single page type of application. What we are at Wakanda doing, focusing and trying to get better and better. So imagine that your page can just access data without having the whole deal of, you know, those middleman type of environments like PHP, Apache, all those middleman mafia guys that want to get in between your access to data. You have to pass through a bunch of things to just get data. So Wakanda, we had Laurent Rivardia, the founder, create a little tweak that you can just start a page and load your data store, your data server, right there. Then you have just data available for you. You can just do a page and access data. And that's the example I'm going to try to show you guys. So what I'm going to do is on my, let me move a little bit. see data direct. Okay, I have some. So what I did, what I asked my team here to do is to do like simple examples. I did one, and some other developers here did other ones. So I asked them to do a little example of us accessing this data, but not even using Wakanda Studio or not Studio. I'm using the Studio because of the nice editor that I have there. But you could imagine that you could even in the future bypass the Studio. Not that you don't need the Studio. The Studio is fantastic. It gains you productivity, all right? But for example, for a Linux guy right now, it may be interesting because he doesn't have the Studio at his availability, at his hand. So it can be an alternative to this guy. So what we have done, I'm going to show you an example of, for example, Angular with AngularJS. Okay, I'm going to load the test page. I think I don't know if it's this one that I have right now. It's this one that I have right now. So you can see at the top here, my title, which is normal. Okay, I have the content type, and here I'm going to have the first tip. I'm going to charging a module called the data provider. So I have this little tweak. I have my data available. I have all my model available straight for me to use right away. So here I'm loading Angular, right? I'm using Angular. I'm also loading a test.js as my developer here. This was made by R1. R1, I don't know how to say that in English. It's kind of a different name in English. I'm not sure. So he created test.js, okay, and he put a style. And he did a little, body and the AngularJS type of mentality. What they use is like a reference employee to the first name. Okay, we all know that a little bit through Wakanda. And at the end, we charge our loader.js. But this time, my loader.js, it's going to do a much more simple version of the WAF. It's going to just bring the data for me. I'm going to open the test.js. That's my test.js. So this guy, what he does, as you see, he's going to create a scope as necessary to AngularJS. If you are an AngularJS developer, that's going to be very clear to you. And right away, he access, look at this, what he has straight to him. He has the variable JS right there for him. So he just go JS employee all. Well, I'm going to transform to an array because it's nice. And that's it. And he accessed straight the data. It's like you don't have middlemen anymore. You don't have PHP pushes or Apaches to configure or Node to configure to database to configure. No. You're there. You download the Wakanda server. You started 2 little files and you have data at your disposition. Of course, you use the Studio to create a nice model because that's a nice way to do it. And you create many functionality behind your data with our incredible database. But now, in the moment of developing, you were just straight getting the data without any type of middleman. So if I run this, is this one? Okay, I'm going to start there. So oh, I know that would happen. Give me just a second. I'm there again. I need to open a new version here. New window. All right, and if I run my guy, there we go. His program, his little example, just make a loop of 40 elements as we see here. Right, oops, I'll show you. He's gonna get the 40 and he's gonna do a little, here he gets all the data. And then he used AngularJS to do a little loop, which is the repeat here. And he's gonna render his information. I don't know about you, but I think that's fantastic. It's like so beautiful. It's like I don't need any. I didn't need to worry about anything. and I have my data right there for me. It's just so smooth, so straight. And as this example, I have other examples as well with Sencha, Dojo, one that does templating, which this was developed by myself. I'm going to just run to see what to show you guys. But it's like I have some data straight there, I have all my database there available. And I just render this information here. I get that information and I render to HTML files. So I have 3 different HTML files with tags. And then when I click, it does me a different type of render. Here, a different one. This one render just the one 66,000 over 66,000. This one, it creates like a little let's say, report. All with 2 files and more than that, I'm just creating a huge, I can create a huge application just with like those local files, not even worrying too much about what is structure in a single page application type of style, sorry, in a single application. I have all my data available. It's just I render in different way, or I can use different widgets from different parts, and I can use Wakanda, I can use another library straight there. Again, you just need, basically, you have a data provider to ask for the data provider, to load the JS that you need. It can be jQuery. This templating system here that I'm showing to you, I got on GitHub. I got someone, I said, oh, he did a nice template JS. Let me try. And I tried. And then you load all JS that you need. Some divs. My script is going to load my loader.js, and all my data is available for me to use. So I will, that's pretty much all for me that I prepared for you guys. Greg, if you have anything for me, I'll be glad, I'll be happy to answer, to follow along with all you guys up there.
Okay, we've got questions, and that last demo there is awesome. I'm really excited about that. And
Right. Cool.
yeah, no, I think your 2 demos really speak to the direction we're going as a product. In many regards, is we're kind of branching into 2 distinct camps where we have developers in our community that are full stack developers who are very interested in the widgets and and the themes, and that's going to be super exciting to them. And then likewise, we have a lot of people who are interested in the wonderful setup of the server and wanting to tie different front ends into that. And you've covered both of those camps, so that's awesome.
Right.
Just before we get into questions, I want to talk a little bit about Wakanda 5. I don't want to have it underemphasized how much of Wakanda 5 is actually structural improvements. You know, it can be a dangerous scenario to get into, getting your hopes up that every end user feature of that's in your bucket list of things that you want to see be covered in that release. But what's most important to understand about Wakanda 5 is that the underpinnings are going to be vastly improved, which going on to Wakanda 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 is going to make our pace and quality of delivery so much better. And that's what I'm really excited about, is putting that foundation in place for us to deliver going forward.
You touched the single most important point that we have been trying to focus here, which is a long-term perspective that's going to completely reduce the cost of development in a way that we can increase complexity without increasing the cost of that. And to do that, we have to do a lot of internal structure. We are in the process of doing a lot of them right now. And I know that there's a hype on the certain members of the community thinking so much about Wakanda 5. Wakanda 5, as you pointed out very correctly, is just a first step out of, I can imagine right now Wakanda 10. I'm really excited about it, and I'm reading this every day. It's like it's giving us a lot of desire to be part of this big revolution, because it's still in the market, the concept behind something the simplicity of taking the server and from the back of the developer. What I'm saying is like the server can be something quite complicated for developers in a way that to combine so many pieces together, you know. If you have another type of any environment, you have to get Apache, PHP, you have to have a whole complex situation to give you what Wakanda give you in like one click. It's like you downloaded, the server is right to go. And what we care right now, and people are going to start to understand that even more, is how fast you do, how easy, how quick you show to your client.
Yeah.
And how easy you can come back to that thing and not worry about those little details. I don't want to download a server, install something, and then install a lot of modules to just make something run that I can do in one click. Let's cut cut the middleman. That's
Yeah,
my
you're
tweet.
absolutely right there. So we've got about 15 questions here, and we're going to try and wrap it up in just over 15 minutes. So I'm going to give you this one just because it relates to your last demo. Is Peter's asking, please explain your statement, no WAF, in a little bit more detail. So I believe I know what you mean, but maybe just expand on what you mean by that.
Yeah, actually, I'm sorry. I'm sorry because I showed that in the presentation. I was actually, we don't have a name yet for it, but it's just that the data provider ready for you to use without any other elements of the Wakanda architecture. You
Right.
get basically the data provider, all your data available for you right away.
Yeah.
We are in time. We need to. We're working right now with Jean-Michel, our marketing guy, to do a marketing this in a different way. You guys are going to see there's a lot of changing coming in terms of communications and website and stuff like that. But that is something very unique to the client. That the name WAF doesn't mean anything right now. It was just like an internal type of way to talk here. But actually, it is WAF because the data provider is WAF.
Yeah. So tell me if I'm right in describing it this way, Ricardo. Is basically before these changes, which you've just demonstrated, was when you loaded the Wakanda, I think it's Wakanda application framework, but whatever that means, it was an all or none proposition. It was widgets, it was data provider, data sources, everything. And what you've done is you've made it so that it's granular and you can include what you want. Is that a fair statement?
It's a very good, fair statement, yes. Okay. And it's going to be even more granular. It's going to be in a fine touch when we install the whole packaging system, because then every single page is going to receive just the libraries that page needs. It doesn't need to charge anything else.
Yep. Okay, so that answers that question. I'm just going to switch it over to the title page here, and we'll answer these questions. Okay, so I'm going to go through them, and we'll do our best to answer them as best we can.
Sure.
So is there a facility in Wakanda server to host multiple domains similar to Apache vhost files? I'll tell you what I know is yes, you can.
I'll tell you what I know.
Yeah. Okay. So let me handle this one, Ricardo. There is a way to handle multiple domains, and what I will do is I'm going to write it down on my to-do list. Is to do some formal. I'll do a screencast on this topic and show you exactly what happens and how you can do it. It's not as flexible as something like if anyone's familiar with cPanel or any of some of these control panels. It's not quite that flexible, but I will show you what you can do, and so I'll take care of that in form of an example. So we've got another one here that will be for me is, can you publish a list of Wakanda warriors by city-state to help basically build the community so people can connect? I think probably publishing a list is something that would be voluntary if we did it, but what I can say is absolutely we're interested in facilitating local groups of users. At this point, what our main challenge would be is we've got a really geographically diverse user base, and I think right at this moment we should be talking about how can we connect virtually. And then once we build up the user base, we can get into local user groups. I know I'm going to start one in my hometown, but that's because I have a big mouth and I know I can get enough people there. So if you're like me, by all means, take the initiative. send me a personal email. And what I can do is I can connect with other developers. I believe we have, if they've put it in the forum, there's ways that we can track down who's where. So that covers that one. Let's talk about, someone's asking Ricardo if there will be any improvements to the API regarding creation and maintenance of relations in Wakanda from an external source. So I'm thinking what this means. They're saying they found integrations with other systems might not be as easy as possible. Do you have any insight on that?
Uh, you mean other source, maybe data, other databases and
That's what I'm thinking the question's about.
yeah. Well, it's what we can say at the moment is that we already progressed on that direction. We have already solutions in that regarding that, but there's business and decisions that are going to take place right now that are going to make that available, I believe, very quick for a lot of people. Like for a lot of people, for example, a lot of we heard that a MySQL connector would be fantastic. So I believe that very soon you guys are going to hear from us about those type of subjects.
Yeah, I think for me to add to that is I can say that Laurent's put in the architecture to make this type of functionality unlike anything you've seen. I think we're going to have a very compelling story. It's not currently in the roadmap because it's a very experimental thing at this point, but what I've seen, and I have seen the demo, it's going to be quite fascinating. So unfortunately, we have to kind of gloss over that one, but the answer is yes,
It's
eventually.
coming. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah,
Because
we
we're
just
not
don't
too
have
far.
time frames on it. Okay,
Mhm.
so here's a good one. I think you'll have an answer for, Ricardo. Is it's from Gerard. He says, you know, he liked your comment that the web is a collaborative environment. He agrees with that, and he's wondering if we're planning to put Wakanda on GitHub in a more active way. Our repositories seem to be sort of not as collaborative as they could be.
Yes, I can tell you there's a big movement for us to do that because in fact we do touch the code every single day in a lot of places. You have, if you follow Wakanda, you see that that we have a build every single morning that is different from the night before. And the problem is we are changing our internal system to make it flawless to go to GitHub and start to get updates more frequently. I do agree that is not optimal right now, but we are working on it. The detail is for our source. Yes, that's true, but I would like to see with this new mentality a lot of improvements on the exchanging of themes and widgets and web components throughout through GitHub. No, I'm not sure if that was too clear, but I would like to see not all. I do believe that our commitment to GitHub and to make it our code reflect what we do. It's very important. We are going that direction, and then after we want to we are focused at the things that we are doing right now to improve the other side of the GitHub, which I think is even more important at the moment. Because there's not a lot of developers out there that can actually get our open source and fork, for example. It's a massive amount of code that is a C++ mixing with JavaScript, so it's a complex task. So I would see, I think the most important thing for the community right now is to have a place where they can share their own work in a very easy way.
Yeah.
If we can get that, we hit the spot.
Okay, so I'm going to give you one that a lot of people have asked, and again, we're going to have to be as brief as possible with answers, so that means maybe we won't be able to give the full answer. Of course, we're available through the forum through many mechanisms, so feel free to interact with us. But just to get through a few more topics, let's keep it brief. A lot of people talking about reporting, and in particular printing to PDF, these types of things. Any plans in the works on that?
Yeah, we released a technical note. I think we did, if not, it's coming. That you use a third-party tool to do the
Okay.
job,
Good.
which is with JSPR reports.
Okay. So that
Um,
will be available through the Learning Center, I'm assuming.
yeah, I think so. I think it's a technical note on that
Okay.
on that matter.
I'll follow up with
But that,
that.
said
Um,
that, I got a personal request from our vice president to make that happen. So I think all I need to have a green flag. So
yeah.
so I hope that it will be in our roadmap very soon.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you've always got options of third-party tools and using the REST API to get your data out, or even possibly the data provider functionality you showed today. So I think
Exactly,
for now, I think
exactly.
the answer is third-party, and if there's something native coming forward, then we'll make that known for sure. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
let me just add something about this issue because it's very interesting and it may reflect something for the community to reflect upon. It is that we understand exactly because you said that we have alternatives to give that type of information, and someone creates some reports through these alternative ways that right now to create a reporting tool in Wakanda is a big commitment. Okay, we are ready to. We're starting to see that we have to do it, and it's going to be done. But at the moment, right now, that's why the roadmap is so focused on widgets and teams and create this collaborative way for us to do that.
okay.
That a project like that, a big project like that, because reporting is a big project, so we need to take very carefully and make the right decisions in terms of priorities.
Yep. So I've got two intertwined questions. One person asking if there's going to be a bug fix release of V4, and then someone asking if we have a tentative date for WAC 5.
Wow. Okay, a day release for Wakanda 4. Yes, I think it's that's I can call Jean right now.
So
It's
I
up.
guess the question would be: is there before
It's
WAC 5?
coming soon.
I assume there will be bug fix releases for version 4.
Oh yeah. It's gonna
Okay.
we're gonna have the same cycle that we have been until now. If we detect something that it's serious to the community, we're gonna release in the Wakanda 4 branch, and people are gonna have access to that. We're actually actively doing that right now. So I know there is a bug fix coming very soon.
Yeah, actually, Bill just pulled it up for me. It looks like April 12th is going to be
Voila.
a new build.
Great. April
Okay.
12th is like today. No,
Yeah.
tomorrow.
There we go.
Tomorrow?
Well, you weren't kidding. It's going to be soon. Okay, so that
Tomorrow.
takes care of
Yeah.
that. Um, So there was something in your
Wait,
roadmap, I think, that's talked about Studio from the browser. They're asking if that's a reality. If
wait,
it's in the roadmap, then it must be
wait a second. There was a second question there. Let's let's
right.
just
Okay.
address that one because
Um,
I
so it.
skip it. I skip it. The date for Wakanda 5, not yet.
Oh, okay. What's
Not yet, but it's our cycle is like 3 months, 3 months and a half. It's coming soon.
okay? So generally speaking, I know
Mm.
historically we were aiming at 6 month cycles between major versions. Is that still the case?
No, we have been between 3.5, 4 right now.
Okay. So
Okay?
yeah, so it's
So
a very rapid process.
yeah,
Okay.
the community, it's nice for the community to understand as well that our product is not, it's one of the projects in the roadmap actually to have some of the functionalities of the studio in a web browser, so you can just get the latest all the time. But
Yeah.
we have a downloaded version. There's a server version with, so you have a level of complexity that we cannot really deliver one version every month. Otherwise, the community is going to go crazy, you
Yeah.
know, as they have to update, they have to prepare, they have. So then we think that this space right now between 3 months and a half, 4 months, it's kind of what is the best for the product. But that may change if the community pointed out that they want something different. We may change that.
Yeah.
I like as quick as we can to. I would like to, as soon as I have one a feature well tested and well done, just release that feature.
Yep.
But we do that in a development channel or in a side channel. The user can try and can beta test a little bit, and
Yep.
so that's the way that we have been doing.
Okay. Um, so again, let's keep it as brief as we can. But
All right, we'll try.
it says here, there's a feature in WAC 5 says access to Studio from a browser, and it says, are you launching a cloud version of the platform?
Yes,
Yeah. So it's in your roadmap, so that means it's happening, right? And
of
what I would
course, of
add
course.
to
We
it
already started.
is we definitely hear the requests for one-click hosting environment as well. So don't think that that's fallen on deaf ears. We've really making a lot of progress. So yeah, in-browser version of Studio makes sense to have some sort of backend to that. Their comment here about localization support. Any plans in the hopper on that, or is it more a question of what are the best practices right now?
Actually, we have discussions right now about the subject. It's important. It needs to be in the product. It will be in the product. It's just a matter of priority. It's gonna come very soon as well. I think as we are talking, right? So Wakanda 6, Wakanda 7, it needs to come. You know, it's something that it's in our vision. We cannot conceive a product without that functionality, and it may be that we can find ways to speed up the process. We are, in fact, there's one of the suggestions, one of the sub project that we're doing through widgets. It's going to help that. So more to come.
Okay,
I,
sounds good. I've got one for Jay that I think I can answer is single page application architecture is not SEO friendly. Is the Wakanda team interested in making SEO easier for us? And I think that's a two-pronged answer. The first answer is actually search engines are getting much more intelligent about working with single page applications. So I think one of the things we need to do, Ricardo, is we need to pay attention to are there standards that major search engines are looking for as far as SEO. The other
mhm.
thing on this is,
Well,
yeah,
let me
go
just
ahead.
add one thing about that.
Yep.
Single page applications, they are by nature, they try to create a level of complexity to the client that's quite high. So every single page application, they're going to have some problems in terms of SEO. It's not as evident because you have to charge a lot with metadata, JavaScript. You have to do a lot with that to create really the sensation of a single page application. And well, as you pointed out very correctly, they're getting better on understanding the JavaScript behind the scenes. But yeah, it's in our mind as well.
Yeah. Okay. We've got a couple questions in here. David, in particular, asking about will bugs be addressed in WAC 4 as well as adding to WAC 5? I can answer that. Yes, absolutely. Quality is a major focus on our agenda right now, so that's a quick answer. Um, okay. Let me just get one here. Okay, are you planning to integrate support for the fluid grid from Twitter Bootstrap or any of these types of things? This is an easy answer as well. You covered that in your presentation. Really want to start looking at if you want to use Bootstrap on the front end, this is exactly what we're enabling. And that's why it's exciting what Ricardo showed today. So there will be a lot of information and training coming forward on that topic. So stay tuned for that.
Good,
Um,
well done.
what do we have here? Got like we had a ton of questions come in. So let's say, does Wakanda Data Store have to fit exactly the shape of the data needed in an application, or can it be more like general? And he's got relational database, but I think Jay, you're talking about an object data store. There's a lot of benefits to having structured data, and I know where you're coming from. The Google App Engine and a lot of these different object data stores just let you throw an object at it and it adjusts dynamically. So Wakanda is not that style of data store. However, one thing that I will be talking to actually Laurent about this week is the idea, and he's mentioned it, of storing a JavaScript object in the database, which would do a lot of what you're looking for. So stay tuned for that. It's not a planned feature. It's nothing uh, but good ideas right now. But that's, I think, cover that question. We've got a question about mobile speed in Wakanda 5. Will that be improving? How have you been addressing mobile performance, Ricardo?
That's exactly what we mentioned on the roadmap. It's one of our priorities right now, which is to have a system that it will
Yeah.
help first charging the correct packages that you need.
Yeah.
That,
So that's
that
exactly what he's saying. He's saying that too much of the DOM's being loaded. So this is the whole point behind you breaking out the loading structure, if I remember.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
And also there's something else because now we're delivering a very small set minified already as well. So it's going to be even smaller, and we think that's it's going to be quite faster. I hope that when we have a better notion of exactly the impacts, we're going to release some type of statistics showing the improvements and some analysis showing before and after. Because we're going to do that internally. We already did for the beginning of the projects. We're going to do another one at the end of the project, and we're going to see if it was consistent. And with that, I think it needs to be public.
Yep. So I've got. I just want to address this one specifically, and I think if I didn't get your question answered, I apologize. We had a bunch come in at the end, but I want to point on one specifically. Is on the reporting. I know I have a good sense of what people are looking for, and
Yeah.
absolutely we hear you. What we're going to do in the meantime is I'm going to make a commitment to involve other people, Lyle, myself. Some of the team from France, is we're going to come up with some really great examples of how to come up with a reporting solution right now. And because it's like Ricardo said, it's not a small undertaking. It's going to be a big undertaking to do it properly. We don't want to jeopardize, a bad feature. So we're going to do both. We're going to find out. We're going to show you how to do it in the short term, and then we're going to really plan for something excellent in the long term. So keep an eye
Great.
for that. So, Ricardo, I think that wraps up our time for today. Really appreciate it. It was an awesome demo. We're going to do our next quarterly update in early July. So we'll probably try and even involve, maybe we'll invite some other people in, Lyle, or it could be anyone. But we're going to keep this going. I hope you found it helpful. We'd love to hear feedback. My email's on the screen there. If you have suggestions going forward for these quarterly updates, we're definitely here listening. So, Ricardo, why don't you sign off and we'll call it a day?
All right. Thank you very much for everybody to be here with us. We have a lot of confidence of the work that you guys are doing. We see every day some examples, and that gives us a lot of motivation here internally. So please keep pushing us to the limit. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, see you, Ricardo.
All right. Bye bye.